Ja Morant had a huge game last night.
Yeah.
Scored a franchise playoff record 47 points for the Grizzlies. He was incredible, but despite that amazing performance, it wasn't enough to take a 2-0 series lead over the Jazz. Donovan Mitchell made his much-anticipated return from the ankle injury and had 25 points in the 141-129 win. Just a little bit of offense in this game. The series is now tied at 1 game apiece as it moves to Memphis. An incredible performance by Ja Morant, who is just a star and so fun to watch. When you look at the box score from this game, I'm like, man, what a night for Ja to have this performance, because everyone from the Jazz contributed. Like, Royce O'Neal had 14 points. Bogdanovich had 18 points. Gobert had 21 points. Mike Conley Jr. had 20 points. Donovan Mitchell had 25 points. Joe Ingles had 14 points. Like, when you look at the box, you're like, oh my God, Ja Morant had 47 points. How did they possibly lose? Because everyone on the Jazz was hitting.
Well, the Jazz are really about numbers, and we talked about this. So in a year with condensed schedules, you can't practice as much. You don't look at film as much.
Right.
So the Jazz bring back this deep roster. Sometimes this year, you kind of had to roll the ball out and let the guys play. Utah is built for that. They're really deep. They have, when you're playing 10 guys, back-to-back games don't really matter. And so Utah, to me, is totally built for the regular season, especially in a year that has a condensed schedule. Their depth is huge. But in terms of star power, like when Donovan Mitchell didn't play, it's just an average roster. It full of kind of mostly average guys. So I think Utah's in for a series. I do think that depth over 6 or 7 games, Ja Morant is going to end up looking like Westbrook by the game 6 and 7, where it's like how many shots he's going to have to totally carry this team. But I'll say this: Ja Morant is, I think he's like Westbrook plus.
He's so efficient. He's a true point guard. He plays with a lot of intensity, but it is controlled.
Oh, he's much more in control than Westbrook.
He's very artistic. Like he's so fun to watch.
Yeah.
I'm really glad that people around the country are getting to see him now and what he's capable of. Speaking of Westbrook, he left last night's Game 2 loss against the Sixers with an ankle injury in the fourth quarter. They lost, obviously, but that's not the story. As he was headed to the locker room, a fan dumped popcorn on him, and he had to be held back by security as to not confront the person. The fan was ejected shortly after, and Westbrook shared his frustration with some of the fans' behavior towards him after the game.
To be blatantly honest, man, this is getting out of hand, especially for me. Just the amount of disrespect, the amount of just fans just doing whatever they want to do. It's out of pocket, man. There's certain things that cross the line. And any other setting, I know for a fact that fans and they wouldn't come up, and a guy wouldn't come on the street and pour popcorn on my head because he know what happened.
I mean, it's the audacity and the disrespect for me. I don't blame Westbrook in this spot at all. And he's obviously upset. He's leaving the game. He's frustrated and he's injured. And someone pours popcorn on his head. As he said, in any other setting on earth, if you poured popcorn on him, Westbrook could literally rip this guy's arms off his body. People get really, really comfortable these days.
There are some parallels. Remember, that was the draft that Aaron Rodgers thought he was going to go higher, and Alex Smith went to the Niners, did go higher. They played their college ball out west. They both had a few injuries. Aaron is more revered as a talent. Alex, though, has made 3 Pro Bowls. He can play, too. They got some similarity. They actually look alike. First thing I said to Alex Smith yesterday during the commercial break, I said, I always thought you looked a little like Aaron Rodgers. God, in person, you look just like Aaron Rodgers. So, but they're different personalities. One is more warm and inviting. One's a little pricklier. And we all treat people differently, right? Based on, their personality. We all have friends you can tell anything to, even bad news, and then you have friends, if it's bad news, you'll just let them find out some other way. So it is interesting. There is this sense that had Green Bay given Aaron Rodgers a heads up on Jordan Love, it'd have been all good. Now, should Green Bay communicate better? absolutely. Alex Smith yesterday, when I asked him about Aaron and Green Bay's tension, said exactly what most of us feel.
It's inexcusable. It's absolutely, I think. How they ever got to this point. I mean, Aaron's been there 16 years, what he's given to that organization and been there. And for them, I think, to what happened last year during the draft, and I haven't talked to Aaron about this, so I don't want to put words in his mouth, but clearly to watch the interview and him talk about it's about the people. And it is, and Aaron's been there that long, and I don't think it was the fact that they drafted Jordan Love in the first round. I mean, I think it's the fact that you just, how do you have a guy like Aaron and you don't go make sure beforehand, you aren't going out of your way to make sure that he knows that he's loved, that they want him there.
No, I mostly agree. I think you should give Aaron the respect and the heads up. I agree with that. But I'm just going to throw something out there because I am America's honesty broker. I don't take sides. Aaron's personality is off-putting to a lot of people. His family has commented on him. Teammates, coaches. Is it possible sometimes people in Green Bay don't tell him every little thing and some big things? Aaron is often the victim in Green Bay a lot, right? This is like 10 years now, last 3 especially. He's the victim a lot. Is it possible sometimes Aaron's not the victim? He creates some of this stuff. I mean, he's been in Green Bay 16 years. You and I know he's turned off coaches and players. We've seen them comment about it. Maybe they don't include him in every conversation. There are friends who you tell everything to. And there are friends they can just find out some other way. Alex Smith, I asked Alex Smith, did Kansas City tell you they were going to draft Patrick Mahomes? Here's what he said.
100%. I mean, that's something that was talked about throughout the draft process, not just by Coach Reed, everybody involved in the personnel department. Yeah, and I'm talking multiple times. Hey, this really might be something worth doing. Are you okay with it? This is going to be the situation. This is, I mean, there were no surprises. I mean, it was absolutely laid out for me. And I think that all helps, that when that stuff's communicated, it does make a difference how you treat people.
But that's how you would treat Alex Smith. Alex is warm and friendly. Players love him. Coaches love him. He's an overachiever. He's not a mega talent. That is how you would treat somebody you think of as family. Aaron's not quite like that. Aaron can be prickly with his own family, with teammates, with coaches. The Minnesota Vikings, Alex was treated in Kansas City like you treat a nice guy. The Minnesota Vikings, when they considered drafting Justin Fields, gave Kirk Cousins a heads up. But Kirk Cousins is known as a nice guy. He's not a pushback guy. He's not a Cali cool guy. All I'm saying is, anytime anybody becomes a victim over and over and over and over and over and over, Aaron and Green Bay, there are sometimes I would suggest maybe you are creating a teensy-weensy bit of it. So, Aaron he may be intimidating to people. He may be off-putting to people. They don't include him on the text chains and the email chains. And they don't tell him some stuff. Let's just do it and deal with the fallout later. Because they don't want to be in a combative conversation. And they don't want to argue and have to defend their position. Now, I do think you need to tell Aaron when you're drafting Jordan Love. I can think 2 things at once. My brain is big enough that I think Green Bay was wrong there. But I do think how you treat Alex Smith or a Kirk Cousins, that's how you would treat a nice guy. That's how you would do it. A nice guy. Let's treat him he's like family. Alex feels like family. Aaron's kind of a 1 foot in, 1 foot out, isn't he? A little bit. Got a little KD to him. I mean, you want to put your arms around KD, but you're never quite sure where KD's going to be in 2 years. And I think Green Bay has felt that for years with Aaron Rodgers. Joy with the news.